Welcome back to the Pageant Gal podcast, where I can guarantee that this is probably going to end up being the most listened to episode on the podcast because currently the number one episode are my winning interview tips because I know y'all pageant gals love the interview preparation. And if you know me and my 5 best interview awards that I at least know of, there might be more than that. A girl knows a thing or two about an interview. And if you are listening to this on the exact day that it launches, it means that I am currently at Miss Universe Canada right now. We actually have our preliminary competition tomorrow, and I have my judges interview. No, sorry, we have preliminaries. It would be tonight. Yes, on the day that the episode drops. And then the next day is going to be our interviews with the judges, which is going to be like speed dating, round robin style. I love interview. I will say people always ask me, do you get nervous for interview? How do you prepare for interview? Have you always been strong at interview? And gals, I'm keeping it 100% real with you. I've always been good at interview. The very first pageant interview I did 9 years ago, I won the best interview. I was not nervous. I remember most of the questions. I felt very calm and confident. It's pretty much stayed that way ever since. And I've actually developed my Nail Your Pageant interview strategy from the way that I've won best interview over and over again. And from the times that I've judged, from all of the many, many clients that I've coached, there are certain things that you can do to increase your chances of confidence, conviction, and success in that interview room. And one of them comes from knowing how to answer these core questions. What I'm going to share with you in today's episode are 4 core questions that, whether or not you are actually asked them, you need to know how to answer. And I'm going to give you a little bit of guidance on how to answer these questions. But of course, you know the drill. This, I can only give you so much. The best place, if you really want to learn my Nail Your Pageant interview strategy and get coaching from me, is either going to be in our Make It Rain membership, where you get access to several other interview resources, or if you want direct, like monthly coaching with me and another elite group of women, then it would be our Queen Collective. I'm going to drop the links to both of them below. You can join the Make It Rain membership at any point in time, monthly for 6 months. You cancel anytime. It's an amazing space to train on your own. But if you want me and a group of other winners for 6 to 12 months, you have to apply for the Queen Collective. Again, I'm going to drop those links below. But that's what I want to share with you today, because no matter what pageant interview I go into, I know how to answer these 4 questions, whether or not I'm actually asked them. And yes, like all the questions matter, right? All questions are important. Any question that you get asked, it's a question that you get the chance to answer, to nail, to win the pageant. So all the questions are amazing. It's important to know how to answer lots of different types of questions about yourself and how to talk about yourself in different ways. Obviously, it's going to depend on the system, but I want you to be fully prepared for these things. My rule of thumb, you walk in an interview, this is my mindset. Ask me anything. Okay? Write that down. Ask me anything. I am okay with whatever question the judges ask. They could ask me about fruit the entire time. That if that is the interview that I am meant to have in order to be the title holder, I trust it. So you have to trust the questions. You have to trust the judges. But more importantly, you've got to know how to answer these questions so that no matter what questions you do get asked, you are able to nail them and start weaving in some of these core points into your interview. Okay, let's go into it. I will say I've been asked in every single interview, at least one, if not more of these questions. So some of them you won't be surprised about. Some of them, you might be. And I can guarantee you every single person can work on these. So the first one, most important one, well, I'm going to say that about all of these. Tell me about yourself. 4 words that trip up so many women you wouldn't even believe. Tell me about yourself. Chances are, if you're getting asked this question, it is going to be the very first question that judges ask you. If you do not get tell me about yourself as your first question, there's a very good chance you're not going to get it, because why would the judges then ask you to tell you about themselves? It's uncommon. If you're going to get the tell me about yourself, it's going to be right at the very beginning. But girls get so in their head, and even some will ask the judges, well, what do you want to know? Don't ask that. Y'all, you got to go in your interview prepared. It's not your judge is not going to tell you, oh, I want to know this about you. They would have asked that. They're just saying, tell me about yourself. It's your responsibility what to prepare. And I always say, if you know the Nail Your Pageant interview strategy, you've got your 5 core buckets. And what you're going to do is pick 2 to 3 of them to talk about in a story-like framework. So what you're not going to do is you're not going to go in and say, well, I'm Maria, I'm a nurse, but I'm also an entrepreneur, and I love animals. I have a French Bulldog, Frank, and I have a husband, and I love to travel, And I also have my platform where I speak to other women about confidence. That's too much information that you're throwing at your judges that they cannot possibly grasp and be able to ask you questions about. I just gave you like 7 pieces of information about me in no particular order. You will not, I don't even remember what I said, and it's my life. You need to think strategically about tell me about yourself and stop giving away the whole farm when it's your first question. You need to think about what are the core, like if I had to only mention 2 to 3 core areas of my life that I want the judges to know about and ask questions about, how can I share those in a story-like framework in under 40 seconds? Story-like framework means like a story, right? Like this is where I was before, this is where I am now, this is where I'm going next, or this is why I'm here, this is what inspired me to compete, this is what I do, this is what I bring to the title, and this is what I'll do next. Story-like framework. Judges remember things in stories. They don't remember when you spew out dozens of details about them, about yourself to them. Tell me about yourself. Importante. Practice it. Practice it ahead of time. You don't have to have a memorized answer, but you do want to have an idea of the points that you want to say. I never go into an interview without knowing how to answer tell me about yourself, and I evolve my tell me about yourself every single time because I'm not the same person I was last year. So the way I'm going to tell the judges about me is not going to be the exact same. The competitions are different. Their brands are different. So you need to know how to answer tell me about yourself. Okay. And I actually have a very specific training about this called Tell Me Why, where I walk you through several examples. I'll have to link that below as well that you can purchase. It's Tell Me Why, and then, or tell me about yourself. And then the other question that we're going to talk about, so the second most important question you need to know how to answer is why do you want to win? Now, this is different. This is different, my gals, from the next question that we're going to talk about, okay? This is different. This is why do you want to win? Why do you want to win? Again, like the most, I would say, like probably if I had to go in hierarchy, this is the most important question, right? Tell me, and I say that, tell me why, the training that I'm going to link below if you want to purchase it to get my formulas to try out for yourself. There's 3 for each. They're bookends, right? Tell me about yourself is usually going to be in the beginning. Why do you want to win is usually going to be at the end. Not always. Don't come at me and be like, Maria, they didn't ask me it in that order. But it's pretty darn common, right? That the beginning, they want to know about you. They're going to ask you questions in the middle, and then they want to end it off with, why do you want to win? To me, this is a heart-based question. This is not, I'm ready. This is not, I have the finances. This is not, I have the time. Nobody cares. You should already have those things in place if you're there competing. Tell me, why do you want to win is about your heart. It is something deeper that you want to convey to the judges that is your own, what you feel like is your personal mission. Like when I think about my why for the pageants that I've competed in won, it almost brings me to tears because that's how connected I am to it. Because it's so deeply personal to me and to what I've experienced and to what I'll do with the title. In a very simple way, I'll allude to this, is it starts with you and then it goes out into the impact that you want to make. So what is it about you that wants to win? What is it about you internally? Like, why is this important for you? And then knowing that the title isn't about you, now that you have this connection and this depth of reason for your mission and why you want to win, what are you going to do with that for other people? Because when you win, it's not about you, it's about the impact that you're going to make. And that's really what the judges want to know. So why do you want to win? Don't talk about your finances. I get that a lot. Like, oh, I'm financially in a place where I can compete. Nobody cares. Oh, I finally have the time. I'm ready. Nobody cares. Judges are not gonna, you're not gonna get a 10 out of 10 interview talking about how you're ready. The judges already want you to be ready. And guess what? Everybody wants to be ready. Don't tell me you're ready. Tell me why you want to win. Tell me what is it about you that you've discovered or that is your mission that brings you here. And now that you're here and we give you the crown, what are you going to do with it on a larger scale? Okay, why do you want to win? So tell me about yourself and why do you want to win? Again, the Tell Me Why training, I believe it's a 90-minute training that I've done. I have 3 frameworks that I teach for both of these that you can try on both. What my clients will do is they'll try out each formula and then see which one connects with them best so that you never have to go into your interview wondering, how do I answer these questions that are the most important? The third question, it's kind of an extension of why do you want to win, but it's a little bit different. And it is, what will you do with the title? This is more strategic. So like I said, why do you want to win is more heart and mission based. What will you do with the title is strategic plan based. I want to know exactly that you are a woman with a plan, that you are not just talking out of your booty, acting like, oh, well, I just want to impact more and I just want to make a bigger impact and I want to be a role model and I want to be a leader to others. And with this platform, I'm going to amplify my mission and use it as a microphone. No, none of that, gals. That is not the time for this. Nothing says I have actually no idea what I'm going to do with the title other than I just want to impact more and I just want to be a leader. And just. You are a queen. A queen is a woman with a plan for the impact she's here to make. You don't think about that plan and that impact after you win. You think about that now. So if we had to go strategic with this, what you're going to do is you want to have a tangible goal for the title. Think about SMART goals. Who remembers SMART goals, right? It's got to be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, time within the time. So in a year, what is the actual impact that you want to make? What is something specific, tangible, and measurable? Think like numbers wise here that you want to do. How are you going to do it? And what is the evidence that you have for me that you've already been doing it, right? You can tell me, I want to impact 1 million people with my message. But if you're not telling me, oh, I've impacted 100,000 through my social media initiative, I'm not going to believe you. If you say I want to raise $10,000, but you tell me I hosted a lemonade stand and I raised $10, I'm going to be like, how do you plan to raise $10,000 if you've only raised $10? So that's where it's got to be realistic. So what is your plan for the title? What is your goal for the title? If you win the title, what are you going to do in 12 months? That's a strategic based question, and that is a planning and goal-based question. You want to actually have something specific that is not just a series of mores. And I want to impact more. How much better does it sound to say, over the next 12 months with my platform, which I've already been doing for 2 years, I go into schools and I speak to students about, let's make up something, health and safety. I've spoken to hundreds of students, but now with the national title, I'm going to partner with this organization and we plan to have health safety kits in 200 schools across the nation, and I will speak to 10,000 students within the first within the first 6 months of this reign. I'm making it up on the spot, okay? Give me some grace. How much more strong and strategic and convicted does that sound than I just want to impact more? I have a platform. I teach students about health and safety. It's so much fun. And I just want to use this title to make a bigger impact. And I just want to be able to use this as a platform for leadership. Everyone says that, right? That's what the title already is. It already is a bigger chance to make a bigger impact. It already is about leadership. It already is a platform. Don't tell me what the title is. Tell me what you're going to do with it. And tell me what you're already doing. If you're not doing anything already and you think that you need the title to go make an impact, girl, we got to start from square one. We need to get you in action. We need to get you reminding yourself that you are a queen before the crown comes on your head. So, tell me about yourself, beginning usually. Why do you want to win? And then what is your plan for the title? What is your 12-month plan? What's your plan? What's the goal? What are you going to do? The fourth question, the fourth and final question, that is the most important that you need to know whether or not you get these asked, right? Whether or not you get them asked, you still want to be delivering this information in the other questions that you get. But that's a story for another day. That is like a whole nail your pageant interview thing. We could do like many sessions on this. But the fourth most important question that oftentimes trips girls up is what makes you unique? What makes you different? What makes you stand out from the other delegates? Anything that is having you magnify what you bring to this title that's different from other people, girls go blank. They lose their mind. Maybe you've thought it to yourself before. I know I've had clients say this to me. Maria, but I don't know what makes me unique. I don't know what makes me different from the other girls. I don't want to put the other girls down. This isn't a question about putting the other girls down. The judges want to know what makes you different. And this does not mean you got to be one of 6 billion who's only ever experienced this one thing that only you happen to bring to the title. No, but it's identifying what is something that is interesting or different or special that only you can say because only you have experienced it in this way. What makes you unique? So when I think about, my interview tomorrow and what I want to share, I have two really unique things about me. I'm not saying other girls don't have these same things, but this is what's unique about me that I'm owning. One is that I only had 6 weeks to prepare for the biggest national competition, and I'm here and I did it. And I raised thousands of dollars and I got over half a dozen sponsors, and I feel so confident and ready to win this title. That's unique. Literally nobody else can say that they did that because only I qualified at the very last minute, but that's unique. Another thing that's unique about me that I want to share, whether or not I get asked this question, is my career journey. How nobody in my family is an entrepreneur. How I started with a degree in nursing, and I was a nurse for 7 years. And without any formal business training, I've built a multiple six-figure business that allowed me to retire from nursing. That is a very unique story. That is something not a lot of people have done. Yes, some people have done that, but nobody's done it in my way, where they had no formal business background, where they come from a family of no entrepreneurs, right? These are unique things about me, and you have to identify what is that for you. I don't have to act like those things are unique. I could just say, "Oh no, that's just what I do." That's what a lot of girls think. They don't own the things that they bring. And what I want you to start doing right here, right now, is own what you bring to this title. You are unique. You are different because you are you and nobody else is you. And it's not necessarily that you have to live this crazy, wild, adventurous life as much as you need to start looking at yourself differently and really owning and valuing the different experiences that you've had. It's not that you need to change or be different. You just need to see yourself in this highlighted way. And if you don't know totally what makes you different or unique, then this is your chance to ask other people around you. This is often what I do with my clients. I'll mirror to them what I see makes them unique. And it's oftentimes things that they didn't see themselves, right? Because it's hard to see the whole picture when you're in the frame. And that is the fourth most important question that you need to know for yourself, and you need to know if you are asked it in an interview. So our four most important questions are: tell me about yourself. Why do you want to win? What is your plan of what you will do with the title? And what makes you unique? You could practice a whole mock interview in just this session, in just this podcast. It's like we just had a pageant session together. You're welcome. These are the four most important questions that you do want to be practicing ahead of time. And again, my goal for you is never to memorize answers. It's to create your own strategic toolbox of resources, stories, and core points that you're bringing into the interview so that whatever question you get asked, you have something that you can add in, that you know why you're there. You know why you're competing. You know what you bring to this title. You know what sets you apart. And you can say that and deliver it with confidence, clarity, and conviction. That is how you get 10 out of 10 in your interview. That is how you win 5 Best Interview Awards. That is how you win 6 titles. That is how you dominate an industry where so many women don't know themselves, but they will after this episode. So Pageant Gal, I'm going to drop the resources below. We've got the Make It Rain membership where you get access to the Nailing the Interview course and several interview resources. We've got the Queen Collective if you want to train with me and another elite group of competitors over the next 6 to 12 months. Every single week we meet for personalized coaching. Or we've also got separately the Tell Me Why training. If you're in the Queen Collective, you get the Tell Me Why training included. That is exactly my strategy and formulas for answering Tell Me About Yourself and Why Do You Want to Win. You can try out both the 3 formulas for both and then pick which one works for you. Okay, I always want to give you something to take away if you want to take that next step. If not, I hope this episode has helped you get a little bit more clarity and specificity of what you need to do so that you can nail your next pageant interview. Again, if you're listening to this on the day that this episode drops, send me a good luck message. Gals, I'm competing at Miss Universe Canada. I literally never thought I would do this. I told myself for 9 years I would not be here, and I'm here. And I want to be that mentor and the model for you to show you what is possible when you take the limits off, when you take the box off of yourself. I truly believe that you can do anything. And I hope you see that through me doing it and me going first. Yeah, send me some good luck messages. Even if it's afterwards, tell me, hey, Maria, I hope you did a really good job. I'm proud of you. That would mean the world to me to connect with you. So you can message me at on Instagram at the Pageant Gal. And especially if this episode helped you. And like I said, I already know this episode is going to help hundreds of pageant gals, thousands of pageant gals around the world. So chin up, crown on, let's go conquer Miss Universe Canada. Let's go conquer the pageant that you are competing for. And I cannot wait to see you in another episode of the Pageant Gal podcast.